guys, what's going on? Jebb here, and welcome back to the Coffee and Crypto live stream. We go live 9:30 Eastern every single weekday, and today we got a very great show lined up for you because, as you know, during our last episode of Coffee and Crypto, Bitcoin started breaking up towards $40,000, and at the time of recording this stream, we're sitting just below 43. Now, I made 4 confirmation predictions that if Bitcoin were to be able to confirm these 4 things and use these 4 things as confirmations and stay above them for 7 to 10 days, then I made a prediction that we would likely go back to $65,000 within the next 3 to 6 months. Those 4 things were as follows. Number 1, I want to see Bitcoin above $42,000 for 7 to 10 days. Number 2, I want to see the bullish MACD on the 3 daily chart cross bullish and stay bullish for 7 to 10 days. Number 3, I want to see RSI break its 14-day moving average and stay bullish for 7 to 10 days on the 3 daily chart. And number 4, I want to see a bullish confirmation flash coming out of Luxalgo, and that stay bullish for 7 to 10 days. The update that we have over the weekend is that all 4 of those have now occurred. Now we're just in waiting. Are we going to be able to maintain the bullish confirmations for that 7 to 10 days that we've talked about on the channel for the last couple of weeks? We're going to be diving into all of that and more in today's video. We got a little bit of on-chain to bring to you. We're also going to be doing technical analysis on 4 different altcoins: Cadena, AVAX, Cardano, and Shib. We're actually going to be looking at Shiba because it's got some very interesting technicals. Guys, we got a great show lined up for you. Smash that like button if you haven't already. Let's get to 250 likes here in the next couple of minutes. I am joined, as always, by Mr. TA Tim himself. How you doing, Tim?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. How about Bitcoin? I am very happily wrong about the fact that I thought it would not get this high. It's not out of the woods yet. I'm not ready to lay down my arms of thinking that this is not the beginning of the rally just yet. But good for Bitcoin. I'm proud of it.
I'm proud of Bitcoin too. You know what I'm proud of? I am proud of Smay. Smay, how you doing, buddy?
Well, I'm proud of me too.
So good.
Also, I need to fix my lyric there. That's not even my Twitter handle anymore, guys. I'm such a goof. I'm not proud of myself, actually.
Oh,
but
no.
I would like to take this opportunity to just say I got some new pants and they are very comfortable. I'm very happy. It's sometimes really hard to shop for clothes, so I'm really excited about that. Next we have I'm gonna shout out some members. We got Leon the Dutch TZ, Ricardo Venegas, Mike Markle, Crypto Sec Guy, and that's about the ones I'm seeing here. Crypto Couple, I don't want to miss anybody. Thomas Post, April Sue. Man, there's just so many cool guys and gals that's just like, I love you guys. You guys are the best. You guys are the best.
I love all of our members too. I love all of our viewers. Thank you guys so much. I got a special announcement before I bring Kelly in. Bitcoin, at the moment that we are live right now, just broke $43,000 for the first time in the span of the last several weeks. The last time we were sitting here, we were falling fast below 43K and rejecting from 43.5. So last week, we had some explosive price movement happen during the stream. If the Lord permits, we will have some explosive price movement to the upside again during this stream. Kelly, we are joined by you, and this time you're not in New York. You're in an office like 30 feet that way. How you doing, Kelly?
Is the turtle market finally starting to rally a little bit faster than we were expecting? I think so. You know what? It's super good. It's great actually to be back here in Florida with the home team here in Florida at the office. We got so much good stuff to talk about today. The news front is actually a little soft right now, but that's actually a good sign. We're not having a lot of overly exuberant opinion pieces, and we got a lot of data metrics we're going to discuss today. And I'm just ready to jump into it, man. So let's get into it.
Listen, that's a good looking background.
That's a good looking background.
Yeah,
I've commandeered Tim's office here for the time being.
Oh, that's a good looking office.
Oh, and I got Dwight here with me to help give us the motivation we need and some humor along the way.
Hokies represent. There you go, guys. God bless the Hokies. Guys, we're going to go ahead and jump on to our total market rundown. How about that turtle drawing? Who drew that? Was that Smay? Did you draw that, Smay?
That is definitely a coloring book.
No, that is a coloring book.
Shannon drew that?
No, not Shannon. It was Taylor.
Taylor who?
Taylor, his wife.
Taylor Warren drew that?
Yeah.
That's hilarious. Okay, well, Taylor drew that. Thank you very much to Taylor for that. That is a really good looking shot.
I think
she colored it in.
Oh, it was a coloring book. Oh, okay. I thought somebody actually had artistic skill in her office, but I guess not. Oh, wow. Okay, that's awesome. Good deal.
Stayed within the lines.
Stay within the lines. Okay, perfect. Guys, if you don't know who Taylor is, she's the lovely wife of Tim who answers all of your support at Crypto Jebb queries, and she's also one of the people that puts together all of our super chats and helps here around. She's part of the team. But we're going to go ahead and jump on over to CoinMarketCap and CoinGecko, and we're going to take a look at what the market is doing right now. We're going to start on CoinMarketCap because I prefer its user interface. Over on CoinMarketCap, you can see Bitcoin is currently trading just below 43K. We tried to breach 43K just a few minutes ago. We wicked up there and we pulled back, rallied all the way up in, I think, the last 3 minutes to $43,179. We have since rejected from there, but you can even see down here on the minute chart, which I normally don't like looking at the minute chart, but in this case, it actually is pretty important. We've been in an uptrend ever since about 4:40 in the morning. That is a good sign. It means that we're trying to break 43K. We're going to see probably during this stream if we're going to be able to. Bitcoin's up 15% in the last 7 days. Ethereum outpacing it up 20%, also up 2.5% over the last 24 hours. Bitcoin up to $800 billion market cap. Ethereum just below 400 billion. And then we see Binance Coin sitting up here at 70 billion. Some of the stable coins sitting pretty. And then we also have Cardano up 5.82%. Really excited about that, trading at $40 billion. We're going to be looking at Cardano later on in the show. Solana up 3%, XRP up 14%. That's pretty exciting. We're also going to be looking at SHIB because SHIB is up 22%. You guys know that I'm not invested, nor am I a fan of SHIB, but the simple fact of the matter is Shiba Inu is a $15 billion cryptocurrency, and it does have an impact on the market, and it does have some market dominance. In fact, it has about 1% market dominance, so it's very important that we pay attention to these cryptocurrencies, even if we don't necessarily agree with the way that they are built or the way that they are backed. Now, we're also going to be taking a look a little bit later at Kadena. So if we take a look down here at Kadena, we will be able to see that it is up 14.2%. If we jump on over to CoinGecko and sort by the last 24 hours, we can see that SHIB is the biggest gainer, followed by Quant, followed by Kadena, XRP, Secret, Phantom, Polygon, Gala, Elrond, ETH Classic. Quite a few great projects up here. Gala being one of them. It's up 10% in the last 24 hours. We do have some losers in the last 24 hours. Maker, Ecomi, Convex Finance, Frax. None of these are any projects that I'm invested in, but for the most part, everything is up today, looking like a pretty bullish day. And that makes sense because the market is following Bitcoin. That's what we're seeing happen right now. Bitcoin is in a rally and the rest of the cryptocurrency market is following. Many people ask me the question, Jebb, why does the market move together? Why does Bitcoin rallying cause the altcoins to rally? Why does Bitcoin falling cause the altcoins to fall? Well, the reason is in the cryptocurrency space, many people view Bitcoin as the least risky risk-off asset. They view the altcoins, and the further you go down the list, as the more risky assets. So if you're looking at something that's ranked number 72 or ranked number 147 or ranked number 95, you're looking at probably a more risky asset to be invested in because it's less proven. It's not worth $800 billion like Bitcoin is. So typically speaking, whenever people are confident in Bitcoin, then they have that confidence overflow into going and investing in smaller cap altcoins. But whenever Bitcoin is not doing well, typically what people will do in a bearish trend or a bear market or a recession in the traditional finance markets is that they will go into a risk-off position. They will let go of their more risky assets and they'll say, okay, I am not in a position right now where I really want to be holding these assets because they're more risky, and that's what people in crypto do. They will get rid of everything that's not Bitcoin so that they can consolidate back into Bitcoin. Tim, we're about to jump into some Bitcoin technical analysis, but what other reasons do you find that the altcoins and Bitcoin tend to move together?
Yeah, I think it's a confidence thing. I think that I said this last week, I believe, that Bitcoin is almost like the Papa Bear, and there's a leash that the altcoins can have around it. And as long as Papa's feeling okay, the leash for those others, it'll extend. But right now, with all that fear that came in, I think you're going to find more often than not, when fear is gripping the crypto market, you're going to see almost everything freeze up and start to follow Bitcoin because it is the leader.
Absolutely. Well, guys, if you're enjoying today's show, smash that like button. Let's see if we can get up to 700 likes here in the next couple of minutes. We're going to jump onto Bitcoin. We've got quite a bit of technical analysis to do there, and then we're going to have some discussion about some on-chain metrics here a little bit later. But let me give you an update because things happened over the weekend. 9 o'clock on Friday, we were live. Bitcoin started a rally. In fact, I'm going to go down to the 30-minute chart and show you right here at 9 a.m., Bitcoin started rallying. It was at $37,460, and by the end of the day, Bitcoin was trading at $42,000, testing resistance. If you'll remember, I have 4 criteria that I said I need to see Bitcoin do, and I need to see it follow these 4 criteria for 7 to 10 days before I say that we're in a confident uptrend. I am still, at this very moment, in agreement with the bears that we're going down to $33,000, unless I'm proven wrong because we stay above these levels I'm about to show you for 7 to 10 days. Until I'm proven bullish, I will remain bearish. You've ever heard of innocent until proven guilty? That's a great mantra. We love that. That's the basis of our entire legal system, innocent until proven guilty. I am bearish until proven bullish. And I'm about to outline to you exactly how I can be proven bullish, and then I will be in the camp of the bulls. I'm still skeptical, so let me show you what those are. Number 1, I need to see Bitcoin be above $42,000 for 7 to 10 days. I'm going to explain the whole 7 to 10 day thing here in a minute, but I want to break down the confirmations first. Why 42,000? 42,000 was number one, an all-time high set on January the 7th of 2021. Number two, it was also used as resistance twice back here in June and also in August. We used 42K as resistance on June 14th, and then we also used it as resistance on July 30th. Then we used the $42,000 region, about 40 to 42, as support in late September. We used it as support here on the 6th of December, and we used it as support here on the 9th of January. If we take out our Fibonacci retracement tools, we can also find that it is currently, I believe if we go here and set this to fib-based levels over on log, then we can come in here and do that. We can see that it lines up with the price target of about $45,000. So $42,000 is a level that I'm paying a lot of attention to. It's one that I very much want to see Bitcoin stay above. It is a level also that represents the the neckline of this head and shoulders pattern. So if we get back up above that, then we start invalidating this massive head and shoulders pattern that predicted we would go down to $25,000 to $30,000. So that's the first one. Next thing I want to see, and I'm running through these briefly in case anybody hasn't seen this. I know I've been harping on this, but it's important and we do have updates here. The next two confirmations I want to see a 3-daily chart bullish MACD cross on Bitcoin. That's exactly what we've just seen. So we're not on the daily chart right now. The daily chart looks like this. We've been bullish for a multitude of days, for about a week and a half. I want to see on the 3-daily chart. So if you don't have the 3-daily chart, go to your intervals, come up here, drop down, hit 3-day, and then you go ahead and star it so it'll show up here on your bookmarks bar. You can see that, or on your favorites bar, excuse me. See how I'm turning that on right there? I'm going to go to the 3-daily chart and look at MACD. I want to see a bullish MACD cross. Okay, good. We just saw that. Why do I want to see a bullish MACD cross? Well, there's less variability in the bullish MACD cross. Whenever you see one, you're typically going into a major uptrend. We saw one form right here. Not over here when we had fake outs, but right here when we were actually going into an uptrend. We saw one form right here. Not over here when we were having fake outs, but right here when we were actually going into an uptrend. There are a lot of confirmations on the 3-daily chart MACD, and we just saw a bullish cross. Great. But as I said, I want to see this maintained for 7 to 10 days. I'm not confident in it yet. Next thing I want to show you is at the exact same time that the bullish MACD cross happens in history, we typically get above this moving average. This is the 14 interval moving average going through the RSI, and we're on the 3-daily chart. This is very important because this shows us when we're in an uptrend or a downtrend. Take note of this time here. This is when we were in an uptrend. Take note of this time here. This is when we were in a downtrend. So we want to be above that moving average on RSI. That helps us to tell us what trend we're in. Well, ever since about 4 days ago, we have been above that. So 3 of my 4 indicators have now come to pass. On the daily chart, I'll show you my 4th. That is Lux Algo, flashing bullish, and being confirmed. As it comes up here, I will show you we have green trend catcher here. We have a buy signal, and we also have Lux oscillator being green. I know I'm running through this pretty quickly. It's because this review, we're green. The one final confirmation that I really want to see is I want to see a bullish Lux Algo flash on the 3-daily chart, because that's where I'm not going to see very many fake outs. Literally every single time in the last 3 years that we've seen a buy signal, not even worrying about whether it's confirmed or not, it has led to a 50 or more % rally on Bitcoin. You can see all of these taking place right here. So the last confirmation that I haven't seen that I really want to see is I want to see a confirmed bullish MACD cross, a confirmed bullish Lux Algo flash on the 3-daily chart. So those are my 4 indicators that are going to tell me I'm in an uptrend. Why 7 to 10 days? Here's why. I want to see Bitcoin stay above these levels for that long, because it's very easy for Bitcoin to have a fake out. And yes, I see it rallying to $43,300. I know you're probably thinking, Jebb, shut up, it's moving, let's look at that. It's very easy to see Bitcoin get exuberant, but then for Bitcoin to flash crash, because a lot of people long too early and then a long squeeze happened. That's what happened back 2 times in recent history. We saw it happen right here on December the 27th, saw a major long squeeze. In fact, during that time, we saw Bitcoin get liquidated to the tune of, have it right here, to the tune of $250 million, followed the next day by, $400 million, followed by $250 million in long liquidations. We had a major drop. Then back here earlier in January, we saw $1.5 billion of longs getting liquidated. The exact same thing can happen right now. I'm not saying it's going to, but I'm saying it can. I want to see Bitcoin stay in an uptrend for 7 to 10 days so that we are really sure, we're really certain that Bitcoin is going to move to the upside. So now the clock is ticking. We've had all of these bullish confirmations. I still want to see that Lux Algo flash on the daily chart, but that's not the end of the world if we don't see that just yet. I want to see all 4 of these confirmations lock in for another week, and I'm going to be pretty excited. Now, there's other things I want to talk about, but even before we get to all of those, Tim, I want to hear your take on this. This has been my stance for the last 2 weeks or so. I want to see these 4 things happen. I want to see them happen for a week and a half. Are there any other confirmations that you're looking for, and do you agree with my methodology of defining an uptrend like this?
Yeah, I like some of your stuff, but I've been saying here for a while, 44,000 is the number I'm watching. And again, we are getting so close. And so there's a lot of temptation to be like, hey, maybe I was wrong about us needing to go down to 30,000 again, or at least 33. It's not time yet, because this is what I've made the mistake of doing in the past. I look at the charts, I make a prediction, but then the price does something different. And it's really easy to get discouraged and say, all right, never mind, I was wrong. This, I'm going to change my opinion. And then what happens is the prediction you made when you read the charts well, it delays and then it comes to fruition. So I'm going to take a second to kind of learn from some of my past mistakes of calling my stuff too early and say, until we confirm and close above 44,000, I'm going to hold to. I don't like the way the volume looks right now. I don't like what it looks like on the RSI on any of the charts, daily, 4-hourly, 1-hourly. It's all setting up bearish RSI divergence. Then you also have to pair the fundamental analysis, the news that we've seen. Nothing has been so bullish that would warrant a breakout right now. If anything, there's been a lot of unknowns. And when there's a lot of unknowns is when you can't really divert away from what you're seeing on the charts. And what we're seeing on the charts is that the whales, as much as they're buying right now, whales also buy to manipulate. So they can buy in. They bought down low. They're going to sell for profit. Let it come back down so they can get even more supply. They're even okay with a short-time dip if they think long-term they're going to make profit. I don't think any of that's changed. And so I realize I'm probably in a very small camp that is holding out. But I'm gonna learn from a past mistake where I left that camp too early. I'm gonna go ahead and still hold out and say I don't think we're out of the woods yet. I think that this potentially is, even looking at the fear and greed index, we're at 45, 43, 45. Not as much fear as we've had. That's a great way to shake out a lot of people who don't know what they're doing. And again, I really am rooting against myself. I'm really hoping I'm wrong, that we're ready to rally back up to 50,000. I just don't see that happening on the charts.
Yeah, and I think it's very important that we're skeptical because we've been in a downtrend for the last 3 months. And, a lot of people hear the whole mantra of the trend is your friend until it ends, but I don't think most people really understand what that means. What that's saying is bearish until proven bullish or bullish until proven bearish. Right now, we have been proven bearish for 3 months. 3 months is a long time, guys. We need to see a lot of confirmation to say we're going to move to the upside. So I am not saying that we're not going to rally. It's not what I'm saying. I actually do think we're going to rally. My point is that I want to be proven before I start to say that we're going to rally. And here's a couple reasons why I am skeptical at the moment. Number one, if you look on the daily chart, people have pointed this out in chat, and we were going to bring this up to you. It's absolutely true. Until Bitcoin rallies above $44,500, which I'll just go ahead and draw a horizontal line right here. Until Bitcoin rallies above $44,500, Bitcoin is under bearish RSI divergence. There's a downtrending level of resistance here on daily chart, uptrending level of resistance here on daily chart RSI. That does signal that we should push to the downside. On top of that, if you look at the volume, take a look at the volume right now. Down here on some of these shorter term time frames, it's nothing. Look at this volume, guys. It's disgusting on Bitfinex. There's nothing. We saw some volume on Friday. The volume is dreadful. It's not there. We saw some volume come in on the hourly chart when we broke up. Yeah, that was great. Or excuse me, back over here. Yeah, that was phenomenal. But where is it now? And then one final thing I'll mention about this is that Bitcoin had put into play over the entire weekend a bull flag right here. You can see we came up here and traded right below 42, had a very hard time breaking through it. And here's the deal with this. We actually saw that there was a price target, as you can see right here. That price target is pointing up at $46,000. Bitcoin, yes, broke 42K over the weekend, but with what exuberance, with what enthusiasm? If Bitcoin was really out of the woods, I would want to see more volume. I would want to see a much more explosive, much faster rally like we saw over here. If we really were out of the woods and the retail was really on board, and we were really starting to see the institutions and the retail outside of crypto getting on board, and we were really starting to see a major uptick in price action, I would be looking for a more explosive movement. That's what we saw happen at the end of the last downtrends. We saw Bitcoin would start an uptrend, and then boom, it rallied fast, guys. I'm not talking about a slow rally. I'm talking about fast movement. We saw Bitcoin rally from $30,000 all the way to $42,000, 46% in 11 days. We also saw back over here, Bitcoin rally from $41,000 all the way up to $55,000 in 6.5 days, 34% in 6 days. So the next 7 days are going to be very telling. Are we going to have these explosive movements that prove that the bottom is in, like we saw in the last two corrections, or is Bitcoin just going to do this number and just kind of work its way up very slowly? Because if it does, that's going to tell the whales, okay, look, the bulls, they're very weak right now, and we can dump the price down to $30,000 and get a better buying opportunity. So you don't want that to happen. You want to see an explosive movement to the upside on Bitcoin that it's able to sustain, because we're seeing an influx of retail coming back into the space. And I do think that that's in the cards, but I have not seen it happen just yet. So until Bitcoin is bullish and above all four of those confirmations for 7 to 10 days, I am still in the camp of the bears. I want to be proven wrong, and I think I will be proven wrong. But until that occurs, that's where I am. So, Tim, is there a scenario that we should be entertaining where Bitcoin would go back down to $33,000 right now?
Yeah, it's just what I laid out right there. Is that this is a a good one. This is a very convincing bull trap. And it's so convincing, it's going to make a lot of people change their mind. And again, I'm teetering on, like, if I hadn't learned from my past mistakes, I probably would be sitting here saying, guys, I've changed my mind. We're ready to go. I just have learned from looking at things. Hey, sometimes you don't want to second guess yourself until the confirmation has happened. And for me, that's 44,000. But so the scenario at the moment is the reason we will go back down is a bull trap that will send us back down to set up a daily bullish RSI divergence, MACD divergence, bullish RSI or bullish MACD divergence. Wow, that was fumbled through that sentence right there. That is going to be the spot that I think is going to happen to actually suffice all of the institutions. There's a lot of bullish momentum happening right now, but there are some things, I don't even know if we're fully discussing it, but there are still, like it or love it, like it or hate it, there are people who are still questioning institutions' willingness to get in right now. There's the old FUD of environmental impact is coming back up. Kevin O'Leary's helping with that, kind of drive some FUD back into that market, which retail investors are sitting here saying, oh, it's pumping, it's really good, let's buy. Whereas institutions might be looking and saying, hey, he's right. Like, we could catch a lot of flack if we start backing Bitcoin right this second. Again, I wouldn't put the entire world on that one piece of news. It's just relative. You gotta understand that institutions are looking at stuff like that. I do think we are ready for an uptrend, though.
Yeah, I agree.
I do think the market's ready, but this is the thing. When retail investors miss their shot, when they have their number and they want to buy there, and the boat leaves, that sucks. Try to run and catch back up to the boat somewhere else. But when institutions want to get on, they bring the boat back. I think there's a lot of institutions that think that they missed out at 33 because we were waiting on the Fed news and it ended up being not as bad as we thought. They want that $33,000 purchase. I just would not be surprised for the boat to be coming back. But first, they're going to really shake out as many retail investors as they can.
Absolutely. Now, guys, to clarify my position, I do think we're going to have an uptrend. I do see Bitcoin at $43,400. I do think the fundamentals in the on-chain back that up. I've been saying that for 2 months. Just to clarify, we've been talking about how Bitcoin is ready for an uptrend. We just need to see some kind of catalyst. Well, guess what? We're seeing a catalyst right now. I am not saying that I want to be a bear, and I'm not saying that I'm, in love with the bearish camp right now. What I am saying is that since Bitcoin's been in a downtrend for a long time, bulls, prove it. That's my entire point. And I think they will. To clarify, I think the bulls will prove it. But it is going to take time, and there's nothing wrong with that because I want to make sure that you guys are being able to achieve financial sovereignty. That's our vision statement. We want to see you guys achieve financial sovereignty. The way that we can help you do that is by helping you to not get into bad trades by longing too early and waiting for confirmation. So that's how it all ties back into the reason that we're here, which is to help provide you with financial sovereignty. So I'm going to throw it to Kelly. Kelly, what are you seeing, my friend? Take it away.
I'm seeing all kind of wonderful things here, and I want to preface this. When we're talking about Bitcoin, I'm about to go over some incredibly bullish metrics, but those bullish metrics aren't always going to fully signal that it's an absolute, this must happen. It's just suggesting that this is what's going on in the charts. This is what is the charts. At the end of the day, all they are is an exemplification of what the psychology is of the majority of the market participants. And so with that being said, I do want to first outline, you see these yellow circles here. I still have my yellow circle right here, basically showing that I still predict or still think that the price is very likely to come back down here. But that being said, when looking at, I'm here looking at the 3-day chart, and one of the things I want you to see here, this yellow line is a little trick or tip that I use when I'm doing my trading, because I think the 20-day SMA is an incredibly important moving average to follow when you're trading. But I like to sometimes get somewhat of a preview or a forecast to make some calls a little bit early. So I use this very regularly. This is a 14-day EMA. And as you can see here, when looking at this price is a very good, I mean, it was support here. As soon as we broke this, we had a little bit of a bull trap here, came down, it was resistance, and very similarly right here. Basically, when we break it, it does indicate that there is obviously some bullish momentum coming into the market. And if that sentiment is met with follow through, and what we're missing right here is volume. We're not getting the volume we really want to really get that follow through, but it is signaling that we are seeing some positive momentum in the market. I can further that here when we bring up the Bollinger Bands. You can see with the 20-day SMA, we're literally pinned right there right now between the 14-day EMA, the exponential moving average, and the 20-day SMA. So we still have a bit of a battle here, but if we get above that, that will give me further encouragement that we may still have room to the upside. The 2 or 3 major things I want to point out here when I'm looking at this is you can see here the MACD on the 3-day has crossed bullish. And then this is super important here. If we look at the RSI, we had this massive trend that we were fighting here that we have broken out of. We're still, however, below the 50. And now a lot of the 50 line here on the RSI. Now, one of the things that is a great tip to use in your TA, a lot of people have these lines already preset with the 30 and the 70 for being, very strong or overbought. Some people think, and then down here below the 30, oversold or weak market. One of the things you can really look at here is honestly very simple, putting a line right here, right about where the 50 is. When the market is below the 50, that's showing that you're still in a bearish sentiment, especially if you get down to the daily and you're below the 50 line. And we're still fighting with that. Now, we'll come down here on the daily, however. You see, we have pushed above the 50 line, but I'm just like we do when we break trend lines on a pattern on the price action. I'm still waiting to see either further upside and then a retest, or before further upside, a retest of the 50. If we can't hold the 50, then that suggests that this is a bit of a bull trap. So right now it's undetermined. But what I do want to show you here, if we go here on the market cipher, that magic beautiful thing that we've been looking for the last week or so, actually much longer than that. But if I come here on the weekly, we can see here, we have finally got that on the weekly. We've got the momentum with the green dot showing upside, but the VWAP, this VWAP is what we've been watching, because as you've seen, if you've been watching throughout the last week or weeks, I basically marked here, this is an irrelevant line, I'll delete that. I marked here most of the times that the VWAP is crossed back above the 0 line. And you see here, when we're looking at the price action on the weekly, every time this comes back above the 0 line, we get a very decent rally that comes out of it each time. And now this is right here at the 29K level. When we rallied out of this, we actually got the VWAP above the 0 line before the momentum getting a green dot, but we got that VWAP above the green dot, and we had massive price action. Same thing here. We got the VWAP and the green dot, massive price action. Now we've got the VWAP barely by only a couple days here, but then followed right by the green dot. And then that's also mimicked here or supported. We've got a very strong DBSI, which is a dual band strength indicator, which showing we have an incredible amount of bullish price action that's pushing up. Now, this is to be met with caution, because we're getting all these bullish signals. And what do we talk about when we're trying to put in entries, trades, or pick your best investment spot? We do want as many confirmations as we can get. But when we've had such a strong downturn and we're technically still in a downtrend, this may just be a relief rally that is met with resistance and no follow through. And right now we're seeing that we're getting, as you can see with these volume bars on the bottom, the volume isn't continuing to grow. We have weaker volume coming in to this last week. Now, this is completely undetermined right now. The volume is very low, obviously, because we're in the first day of this week. But I would be looking here, if this week closes and we're sideways and this volume is smaller, or even the same, and there's no increase there, that would give me further indication that we're not getting that follow through on sentiment. Volume is giving us follow through on sentiment, which is incredibly important when we need that final confirmation on picking our best entry. Now, for those more aggressive traders, they might be looking at all these confirmations and starting to play some intraday trading or some scalp trading. And if you're an experienced trader, I applaud you for it, but I will say, make sure when you're doing that, do this with extremely tight risk management.
Yes.
Have your stop losses and your exits planned out, especially when you enter a trade. It's not just about stop loss. Know what your plan of action is for your exit on entering the trade, and don't get greedy because it's starting to go up and you say, oh, but if it goes up this much further, I'll make this much more money. Well, if it doesn't go that way, it goes opposite direction, you make zero money. So it's better to play it safe and take profits along the way. If you're trading, if you're an investor, keep your strategy, be more long-term, and don't worry about the noise of these small movements. But if you are trading, definitely this is the time, because we're still choppy. It's the time to still play it safe and make sure that you have confirmation through profit, not confirmation through bias.
I love that. That's what we're trying to do here at the channel, guys. We're trying to keep it real. We're trying to make sure that we're not FOMOing you, but we also want to make sure that you guys know that, hey, yeah, there's a great opportunity in front of us. There is a phenomenal opportunity for Bitcoin to go into a big uptrend. It's currently at a local high. It has not been this high in quite some time. It's doing very well. It's above 42K. It's seeing a rally. It's at $43,500. That's great. We love that. That's phenomenal. We just want to make sure that you guys are not FOMOing in. And by the way, I know that somebody, I'm sure there's one person in the chat that's saying, Jebb, you're falling into the disbelief part of the rally. It's disbelief. You just can't do that because it's disbelief. Well, yeah, you know, the thing is, every single time that a rally starts, you end up in that area of disbelief. And disbelief is not necessarily a bad thing. Just because you see disbelief whenever a rally is going to start, that's not a bad thing. Like I said, remember the whole mantra of innocent until proven guilty. Instead of innocent until proven guilty in crypto, let's say, you know, bearish until proven bullish. All I'm saying is I want confirmation, and I do think that that will occur. It's really all I got on that. But what I do want to do now is I want to throw it to Smay, and I want to get his take, because Smay, I know you have a lot of thoughts on the current cryptocurrency market. Do you think that the turtle market is about to be over, or is this just a false rally and some false hope? Smay, you there?
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I'm asleep. You know why I'm asleep? Because we still in that range, boys. We're still in that turtle market range, and I don't care how many lines you break, we're still in that range. And I'll tell you what, once we're back to where I think people who bought towards the top are feeling a little bit less anxious, then I can say. But right now, there's still like people, if a guy bought in at 60, this guy, they don't care that we're at 43, 44. You know, like Jebb said, look, until we see like a pretty substantial price rally, whatever, I mean, if you're a trader, this is a heyday. You want the little volatility so you can, you know, whatever, make some profits. But as an investor, or at least the position I'm in, you know, dude, this is still a turtle market. I'm still asleep. There's nothing happening yet. You know, there's nothing to overly get too excited about until there's some proven uptrend. Until we like what Jebb's saying, if we have continuous price movement and I'm like convinced that we're still climbing, even if it's small climbing, if we're doing that long enough, then I can say, okay, I'm pretty confident where the direction we're headed. But one little rally up to 42, 44. I'm asleep, man. I'm asleep until it proves itself. You know what I mean? That's about it. That's all I have to say.
I have another question for you, though. Somebody in chat just said, Rob Rainone? I don't know. So Rob said the opposite of a turtle market is a hare market. Smay, when do you think we're going to go into a hare market?
I think once we start seeing institutions getting into it, because I like the point actually Tim kind of alluded to, is saying, you know, if for any reason, too, the institutions are trying to keep their hands away from Bitcoin, whether they need regulatory clarity or maybe they are still concerned about the environmental stuff. And who knows? Because the thing is, in the political climate we're in, like, you could get punished for doing things that are anti-climate friendly. You know, who knows? I think they're smart. They're waiting for that regulatory clarity. They're waiting to know what the administrations are going to want to do when it comes to crypto, or even just like, you know, non-clean energy taxing or whatever that means, you know, whatever. That I think that until we see some pretty confident, like there's a confidence between the institutions and the retail and everybody, that's when we can see some big, huge price movements. But in the meantime, you know,
I just still struggle with, and this is part of what I'm trying to get at. Jebb, I wish I could ask people in chat, why? Like, why is it pumping right now? Like, why is Bitcoin pumping?
Hope. And you know, actually, I want to ask you a question here that'll lead into that leads perfectly into that. Tim, we talked about that 4-point matrix on Thursday or Friday. I forgot where it was. We got the retail in crypto, the retail not in crypto. We got the institutions in crypto. We got the institutions not in crypto. We know that the institutions in crypto are buying because we can see the whale wallets buying Bitcoin. That's the only of the 4 factions right now that have been buying Bitcoin. Because the reason it's rallying, in my opinion, is because the retail that is in crypto is starting to buy. They got a little bit of hope. So, Tim, I want to ask you this. How do we, what order do those other 3 matrices, the retail in crypto, retail outside of crypto, and institutions outside of crypto, in what order do they start buying into Bitcoin? And at what levels do they start buying into Bitcoin? Do we need to see us hit $50,000 before the crypto retail trader starts buying Bitcoin in droves? Do we need to see it hit $55,000 for the retail outside of crypto to start buying it in droves? Do we need to see $60,000 for the institutions outside of crypto to start buying in droves? What do we need to see for those factions to come online?
The question I have is, what's the difference between right now and what it was 4 months ago, 5 months ago, 6 months ago? You know, have we really actually fixed the things that there were, you know, all those articles coming out that a lot of institutions wanted to see Bitcoin change a little bit? You know, one of them was the environmental detail. And that's what's kind of coming to light, is that, like, you know, we thought it would be fixed when miners came to the United States. Now we're kind of sitting here saying, okay, you know, the whole idea of if Bitcoin is actually bad for the environment is a whole idea of itself. But perception is everything. And so if Bitcoin is perceived as being bad for the environment by these institutions, what has changed since that complaint came up? I don't think a lot has changed. I think things are coming actually to light to say that nothing has changed. So that's one of my things
I would disagree. I just think they keep moving the finish line.
Oh, I agree.
I agree with that, yeah.
But what I'm saying, again, perception is everything.
Yeah.
I think that the perception has not changed. I think there's still environmental concerns. So again, that's a whole can of worms you can jump into about if it's an environmental threat in the first place. But if it is perceived as so, has the level of education risen to convince them that that wasn't a threat in the first place? Or have things happened to say, okay, those concerns we had about whether it was an environmental disaster or not, have those been dealt with? And the answer is no. So that's my first point on that one. Second of all, we kind of were sitting in this place with waiting on what was happening with the Fed news. We had obviously the bearish news coming out with the Russia-Ukraine kind of
Kerfuffle.
Yes, kerfuffle. It's a great
kerfuffle.
word. I mean, the pump started right after that report came out about the 467,000 jobs. I don't think that was a massive story worth pumping, but I think that some people got excited about it. I also know that in all reality, longs and shorts have actually played a very little role in this price action. It actually has a lot to do with that spot ETF price action being above where it needed to be, which is great. But what I'm saying is, technical analysis gets thrown out. I will agree with people that sometimes technical analysis is irrelevant when new fundamentals happen, when massive news stories break, when things change. My problem with the current price is that nothing actually has changed. Now, there's some hope being driven. There are people who are ready. It's kind of like that concept of the disease that cannot be named that hit the world so hard. When we started being allowed to come back out and interact with people, there was a lot of chaos happening. People came out and wanted everything to be back to normal, and that's just not necessarily how it went down. In the same boat, I think people got really bored of the bad Bitcoin price, and the bearish pressure got loose. And so those who really wanted Bitcoin to rally quickly have been very adamant. They've been very loud. They want to have, and by the way, I want Bitcoin to rally very quickly. I hope people don't think I'm an enemy of Bitcoin. I'm just saying I'm looking at the charts, I'm looking at the fundamentals, I'm looking at the news, and I do think we are in a season where we're ready to rally, but I just don't think anything has happened on the charts or fundamentally to cause that, and that's why I'm going to hold to, I think that this is potentially a fake out.
Here's why I disagree with you.
Yeah, go for it.
I actually agree with your argument, but it's completely flipped.
Go for it.
The whole, I don't think anything has changed. I don't think anything's changed from the bull market. I don't think anything has changed from saying we should be in an uptrend right now. I think the thing that was happening is that we were suppressed for the last 3 months because of the news, because of quarter 1 coming in and not a lot of people spending money in quarter 1, because of the FUD coming out of the Fed, because of the fact that Bitcoin rallied too far. The reason I disagree with you is because I look at it the exact opposite. I think that the fundamentals and the underlying intrinsics say that we should be going to the upside, and in fact, nothing has changed. No, something has changed. A lot of the FUD articles disappeared, and people are now seeing that we should be going to the upside. So I want to hear your take on that. But number 2, I also want to ask you this, and I'm going to throw it to Kelly after this.
Yeah.
What impact do you think tax season is going to have on this? A lot of people are going to be getting tax returns relatively soon. Could they be spending those to buy Bitcoin if Bitcoin is in an uptrend?
Yay. I think so. I think so, but I don't think that's happening just yet.
Agreed.
And I completely agree with you. It all depends on what chart you're looking at. If we're looking at weekly charts, I think that we're sitting in a great bullish spot. It's when we go down to the daily chart that I'm like, okay, I don't think the daily chart has flipped fully bullish yet. And so I'm not saying that we're not in a spot on those big time frames to rally. We do have the bullish RSI divergence on the weekly chart. We do have a lot of things happening on the weekly, the monthly that actually give me hope that we're still in a continuation of an uptrend. When I say that nothing has changed, you're absolutely right. Nothing has changed since the bull market, but what caused us to come back down was the FUD, was the fear, uncertainty, and doubt, and was the stories of question marks that have not been answered. So what I'm saying is that when I see all of that, again, I go back to that question of nothing has changed, so watch these things play out. Again, when we hit 33,000 with a wick, we were not certain yet that was going to be the bottom, okay? What that means is that institutions and whales, they weren't sure yet if they should buy or not. Yes, we had some buy at 46. Yes, we had some buy at 42, which is why I do believe that we're going to be moving bullish. However, I don't think they got their fill. I think that they're still hungry for a lower level price. I could be wrong. Maybe we don't even need to go all the way back down to 33. Maybe it just goes back down into the 30s, around 36, 37. I don't know if that's necessarily true, but I just don't think that the whales and institutions have gotten what they really have come for. And again, nothing has changed, so therefore, why not bring the price back down. And people are going to hate that. People aren't going to like that. Again, I was of the same opinion months ago. It's like, hey, there's no reason to go down anymore. Let's just go. And that's just not how it works when the market's being manipulated the way it's being manipulated right now.
Absolutely.
Well, can I say one last thing?
Go right ahead.
This is, I actually am like, why are we even using the word pump? You know what I mean? Like, this is not a pump. It's a little pump.
It's a low pump.
That's all I had to say.
Okay. Well, Kelly, I'm going to throw it to you, and then we're going to jump into our super chats and intermission. Kelly, do you see any on-chain metrics that would back up that idea that we should be in an uptrend right now, and we're actually starting to move back in that direction of where we should be going?
Well, first thing I want to address is I think you are absolutely right, Jebb, in that the way all the underlying foundational aspects of Bitcoin have only become more bullish in the last year. And the fact that we've had this huge range we've traded in for over a year now, basically 30 to 60K with a little bit of outlier, above the 64, 68K level, even on the sell-off all the way down, especially the second top at 68 coming down, the whale buys have only increased. They haven't really gone down. The long-term holders are holding or accumulating at key levels. Short-term holders have driven this price down, which is incredible. That, what is it, like something like 15%, around 16% of the market is illiquid supply. So that means of the 16% of supply that's available, only the short-term holders, which is a small percentage, and only I think it was around 30% of those have sold and capitulated. So this very small amount of the market has basically controlled this driving force downward, and so that's interesting. And one of the things I wanted to say right before, I have 2 or 3 metrics I'm going to go over really quickly, is that I want to say exactly in support what Smay was saying, is that right now, although we should still be in a full-on bull trend without this massive downward price action we've had over the last month and a half, almost 2 months now, is the fact that as we're going up, these key levels right here, these red lines, these horizontal lines I have, because this is still uncertain, and exactly with what Tim was saying as well, we still could be coming down to fill that liquidity on the lower end and get the institutional buys fully fleshed out that all of us are speculating is very likely to still happen. And that's because this uncertainty, and because the weakness of the market means that it's very easy for big money to move the price, to capitulate it down for these short-term holders, to get those orders filled at lower prices. And that's evident with these major support, these major resistance levels that we still have to break, because all of these, on every step of the way up, there's going to be massive amounts of take profits for people that are trading these ranges, these lower ranges. So be very careful. Don't just because we broke the 14-day EMA, and when we break we broke in the 20-day SMA, that doesn't mean we're on full-on bull, because we still have ranges where traders are going to be taking profit at this 45K level, the 50 to 52K level, and especially the 65 to 68K level. In reality, 52K level is excellent, but until we break the previous all-time high at 68, we're not going to have true confidence for retail. I don't want to call it dumb money, but this uneducated money, in terms of educated on the market. Unfortunately, retail doesn't come in until after we're at prices they shouldn't be buying. So that's kind of funny. Yeah. But to take that further, looking at this is basically parabola bands that Plan C has created, with basically floor price, dip price, distribution levels, and basically projected top of where we should be based on metrics like the Mayer multiple and some other metrics that he's incorporated in this. And you can see here, we've already bounced off this floor price level, but that doesn't mean, look at this, we bounced 1, 2, 3, 4 times here, and in strong bull markets, we only bounced at the dip level. So we're not very clear yet. We have hit this floor level, but that doesn't mean that it's the floor that's only going to be hit once. Sometimes we hit it 3, 4, 5 times. So it is still a safe range. We still need to play it. We're still in the play it safe range. So don't be super exuberant just because we got a $2,000-$3,000 pump. This highlights exactly what Tim was saying about this hidden bullish divergence on the weekly. And a lot of people last week were calling him silly for saying this, because we're still only going to go down. But these divergences are real. The just straight up RSI divergence without it being hidden, where the RSI is up and the price is lower, those tend to play out a little more aggressively. But these hidden RSI divergences are not to be ignored either. And we're seeing it right now with this positive price action. This is a spent output profit ratio. And you can see this trend we've had. He's outlined it in red, yellow, blue, and green. And if we were to be playing out the same sort of action based on this orange line is the SOPR, as we call it for short, we're playing out the same thing. This doesn't mean it's going to happen, but if we are going to play out this fractal, then we may just be seeing upside for here. And there's a lot of these on-chain metrics that some traders are looking at, I don't want to say more exclusively, but more heavily. And so with that being said, some of these metrics I think can be manipulated. I don't think this data is manipulated, but the fact that big money is seeing people play off these on-chain metrics, they may make the price do something completely opposite of that because they can use that liquidity to their advantage. And the last thing I'll show is this right here, which is basically short-term holders. It could signify that a bottom has been put in, but I want to emphasize again, a bottom being put in doesn't mean that it's only going to be touched once. We could still come back down, but right now is just a trade it safe range. And the CME futures are starting to show that that could be one more thing. The futures are basically the traders, the contract premiums are starting to indicate that the bias is starting to shift, which could be a good thing. But all to say, it's still in the zone right now that we shouldn't be going all in on our directions because we still need some confirmations to see where that's going to go.
Absolutely. I totally agree with you, Kelly. Thank you very much for that, guys. What we're going to do now is we're going to jump into a period of intermission. We're going to read some of your super chats. We've got a lot of member chats. Thank you guys so much to all of our members. Guys, if you want to help to support this channel and really go deep with our community, I encourage you to hit that join button. The link is right below. If you hit join, you can sign up for the membership. You can get a bunch of different perks. There's different merch discounts for cryptojebb.com/merch. If you want to grab any of our merchandise, you'll get different tiers of merch discounts and even a little bit of free merch if you join our membership. So make sure you check that out. And by the way, guys, I do want to mention today's show is brought to you by TradingView. TradingView is the charting software that I have been using every single day since I joined the cryptocurrency space. Is literally the charting software that I do everything on. And if you sign up with TradingView with the link in the description box down below, not only will you be getting access to a phenomenal technical indicator and technical charting tool, you will also be helping to support this channel. So make sure you sign up down below. With the TradingView Premium, you'll be able to get up to 20 different paid indicators. You're going to be able to get about 4 times more history on the chart than you would without a paid account. You're going to be able to get a lot of different server-side alerts, ton of different things you can do with that paid version of TradingView. If you're a professional trader, then you're going to need that paid version of TradingView to get access to all of its functionality. If you sign up down below, you will be helping to support this channel. But let's go ahead and read some super chats.
Can I say one thing real quick?
Sure,
I just realized I hadn't, because I'm using a new office setup. I just realized after I did all that, I thought I had shared my screen. I didn't. So for all the 4 charts that I just shared, if you go to my Twitter, I just reshared them all. It's just at Kelly Kellum. You can check those for reference. And I apologize about that.
Boom sauce.
The first super chat we're going to read, Friday, we missed this. So Siobhan Goley, I told him via email that we would read his first. So super chat from Friday. How fundamentally strong is SXP swipe token? And shout out, please, from Jebb. So I don't know if you answered the first part.
Shout out to you, my friend. What is it?
Siobhan Goley.
Siobhan Goley. Shout out to you, Siobhan Goley. Thank you so very much for that super chat. As far as swipe token, I'm not familiar with it. Kelly, would you be familiar with that?
I haven't even ever heard of it.
I've never heard of it.
Well, sorry, man.
Sorry, man.
Thanks for bringing it to our attention.
Crypto, and I think that's JMP. Crypto Jump is a new Jebbai Youngling.
Woo!
So
thank you. Welcome.
That's one. We have a new Jebbai Knight.
Yo, hang on. Speaking of the Jebbai Knights and Jebbai Younglings, who saw that episode 5 or episode 6 of the Book of Boba Fett? Whoa! That was an episode right there. If you haven't seen that, you need to see. Smay, did you see that?
I saw it.
You know what I'm talking about, right? Yeah, y'all need to see that if you haven't already. Go watch some Jedi stuff.
Air Crypto 0420. Air Crypto, not 0420. Air Crypto 420 just became a Jebbai Knight. So there's another new member.
Somebody else becoming a Jebbai Knight.
Dennis Pizarka, member for 5 months as a Jebbai Grandmaster, said, where can we find Bitcoin's futures for Friday?
That is normally posted by Cointelegraph. They will, if you type in Cointelegraph Bitcoin futures, they normally have an article there, and then they'll break it down what the pain price is and whether the puts or the calls are going to win out based on what price it ends at. Normally, Cointelegraph is a good place to go and find that.
All right, we got another one from another member, Crypto Alchemist, saying, proud to hit another Jebb Night milestone today. So he's been a member for 5 months.
Whoa, thank you.
I'm grateful for the info you all provide to us. Do you have any idea the reason why there's a heavy pump on XRP following the market or potential news with the SEC case?
To my knowledge, now Tim or Kelly, have you guys seen any, or Smay, have you guys seen any news about the SEC case?
No,
I personally haven't. I think what's going on there is that XRP is one of those cryptocurrencies that's very far down from all-time highs. So whenever some bullishness comes in, a lot of bullishness comes in for XRP. I think it's just rallying quite a bit because of the way that the cryptocurrency market is moving. I think it's just moving quite a bit because the rest of the crypto market is. By the way, guys, we're 20 likes away from 1,000 likes. Smash that like button. Let's get 1250.
The Bitcoinologist said, who's been a member for 4 months now, is a Jebb Knight, said, thank you for all you do. You need a Smay day where he lets his Goldilocks down and let down your hair, Smay Punzel.
If we get to,
there's a lot in
if we
that
get to
message.
1,500 likes before the stream is over, Smay, will you let your hair down? No. No?
And the only reason why is that I was kind of in a hurry and I didn't get to like shampoo and condition my hair, so it's probably not gonna flow very well. It's gonna be like just a flop, and it's not gonna be very good. So
last members chat from CryptoSec guy Jeffrey, member for 5 months, is Jebb Knight, said, Tim, get ready, buddy. A week's worth of pineapple pizza is coming to the office on me. Let's go Bitcoin. Jeff, I'm not gonna eat a single slice.
Oh my gosh.
So if you send it, that's
yeah,
that's on you.
I'm trying to lose weight, not gain weight.
Taylor loves pineapple pizza, so she'll eat all of it probably. We'll move on. Couple super chats we have here. Terran Crypto said, good morning. I'm a crypto educator with a focus on DeFi. Do you guys use Osmosis? It's the biggest DEX on Cosmos and has 2.6 billion microcap.
I haven't personally used it. Kelly or Tim, have you guys used it?
I've looked into it. It's a really, really nice DEX, and Adam Cosmos is incredible. I mean, it's one of those projects that for me, it's like a must-have in your portfolio because it's similar to Polkadot in the sense that it's a intra-chain sort of platform, and they have incredible amount of stuff going on in terms of total value locked and use cases, and their DEX is great. I don't do a lot of DEX swapping. I do more strategic investment buying, and then I have a few coins that I will periodically trade on more like multi-week trading strategies until the market is in a defined trend. It's silly to trade, so I like to kind of wait until I get a very clear trend, and then I'll do a lot more trading to basically take profits on a smaller amount of a trading portfolio that I use.
I am very disappointed in our chat. We have a lot of trolls in chat. I said, does pineapple belong on pizza? And it's a straight 50-50 split right now between yes and no. Can you believe that?
That means 50% of the people are wrong.
Exactly. 50% of the people are right. It's literally exactly 50-50 right now. What the heck?
Hey, real quick before we move on, I'm going to answer something in chat. This is true. And again, so we might not always be right on our price predictions, but we do the best we can to keep our promises. We were supposed to do HBAR on Friday.
Oh, yeah?
We didn't do it.
Okay, well, we can do HBAR.
I think it's fair. Let's do HBAR TA real quick before we move on with the rest of the
we're going to do HBAR, and then we're going to move into our snapshots over on Cadena, AVAX, Cardano, and Sheep. So, yeah, we'll start with HBAR. Let's go ahead and do it. It's up 6%. Actually, it's up 5.59%. It just dropped a little bit over the last 24 hours. Ranked number 32, Hedera. This is a cryptocurrency that we have a lot of big fans of in the chats. That's 26.6 cents, worth roughly $5 billion market capitalization. If we go over to its chart, let's do a little 2-minute technicals on it. We can see, let's go to Binance US, boom sausage, there we go. HBAR has been trading sideways more or less for the last 10 or 11 months. It has been moving sideways for almost a year, currently sitting at 26 cents. Its all-time high is up here at 58 cents. And if we just go ahead and draw a trend line, then we will be able to see, I can already tell you, if we just draw through these lines right here, that is currently sitting below a pretty major downtrend. This is pretty interesting because HBAR is also sitting right above a pretty major uptrend. So what you can see here on this chart is that it's more or less been in a symmetrical triangle pattern for the last year, and that means that it is losing volatility, but that volatility may come back in a major way relatively soon. You can see we're currently testing this downtrend, and it has rallied over the last 14 days, 33%. So quite a bit of big bullish movement on that price price action jumped from 20 cents. Now, what I'm looking at right here is I'm looking at lower lows, and I have not pre-analyzed this chart. I have not looked at HBAR in a couple of weeks, so I don't know if this is the case, but I have a feeling that there's some bullish RSI divergence. Let's go ahead and take a look at it. Okay, there is. That's called chart vision. Guys, I've been working in crypto markets for 5 years. Not trying to pat myself on the back, but I am telling you that after you've been in crypto for a while, sometimes you can look at a chart and just say, yeah, I got a feeling that something's going on there. That's what I was thinking, that there was bullish RSI divergence, and there actually is. Here on the daily chart, you can see there's a downtrending level of support on that price action, uptrending level of support on the RSI. That's phenomenal. Daily chart RSI sitting up here around 58. That does mean that the bulls are squarely back in control. At least they are for the time being. We're also bullish on MACD. Last time we had a bullish MACD cross, HBAR would go on to rally 55%. So that's great. A lot of volatility in this project. If you're a trader, you're definitely going to get a lot of joy out of trading this project. The 3 daily chart is where I really look to see if there's going to be a major price trend change. And you can see right here on the 3 daily chart, the last time we saw a major bullish MACD cross was back around the end of July. After that occurred, HBAR would rally 250% in the span of 50 days. Well, as you can see, just like on Bitcoin right now, it is breaking bullish, and having a bullish MACD cross, that's a good sign, is a bullish trend confirmation. Again, just like on Bitcoin, we want to see 7 to 10 days of bullishness come into play on this market, and we're also seeing that we have a bullish cross of the 14 interval moving average on the 3 daily chart RSI. We can also see that there is a slight, this is not technically bullish RSI divergence. You could argue that this is flat and that would be a type of bullish RSI divergence. Not very strong, but there is technically some bullish RSI divergence showing up there on the 3 daily chart. And if we look out to the weekly chart, we can see that we're looking to have a bullish MACD cross in the next couple of weeks if we're able to sustain this uptrend. And if we get back up above 50, then that would be a very good sign, getting above this moving average. The technicals basically say that HBAR is set up very similar to Bitcoin. It's attempting an uptrend, but it needs to confirm it. So there you go. That is my take on HBAR. It actually has a very similar take that the rest of the crypto markets do. It needs to see certain things come into play, like being bullish and above this downtrend for 7 to 10 days. That's what I would say about HBAR. The same I would say about Bitcoin. Now, I'm briefly going to look at Ethereum. We're going to be very brief on ETH because we talk about ETH pretty much every single day, but I do want to give you a bit of an update. Then we're going to jump into KDA, AVAX, Cardano, and Shib. Right now, Ethereum is actually in a pretty solid spot. It has broken bullish above this downtrending level of resistance, which is great. It is broken above $2,800, which is great. It's now currently trying to break above $3,000 and stay above $3,000, which is phenomenal. The next level I want to see happen, the next level I want to see Ethereum go to is $3,400, and I want to see it get up above there and stay above there. Just like on Bitcoin, it has some very similar things that I want to see it do. Namely, I want to see a bullish MACD cross come into play and stay in play for 7 to 10 days on the 3 daily chart. I also want to see the bullish RSI stay above the 14-day moving average for 7 to 10 days. I also want to see RSI get above 50. I want to see some bullish confirmations coming into play, guys, because right now, what we're seeing on Bitcoin and what we're seeing on Ethereum could very well be dead cat bounces. The good news is on the longer term time frames, I'm talking about the weekly chart here, there is some massive bullish RSI divergence showing up on ETH, as you can see right here and right here. That is a very good sign, and we're also seeing bullish MACD divergence. Those are all wonderful things that indicate that this market has the potential to go into a major uptrend. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and run relatively quickly through some of these other altcoins. Kadena is a cryptocurrency that you guys ask about quite a bit. We look at it quite a lot considering that it is a cryptocurrency that's not massive on CoinMarketCap, but it is in the top 100. If we bring up Kadena, we can see it's ranked number 80, worth just over $1 billion, and it's up 20% today. It is a cryptocurrency that's attempting to have, it's attempting to have a fixed supply, and it's supposed to be another basically cryptocurrency. There are layer 2s that you can build on top of it. I do believe it has smart contract functionality, but the point is that it's supposed to be another cryptocurrency. A lot of people are very bullish on it. As far as its price is concerned, it has currently gotten back up above $7. The reason that that's significant is because $7 is the previous level of resistance that Kadena was testing back in October of 2021. It needed to get above $7 back then, and it did. It rallied all the way up to $28, rallied 300% in 8 days. So there's definitely moonshot potential here. The good news is also that Kadena was in a bear flag, and that bear flag could have very easily pushed it far to the downside. You can see it was actually not a bear flag, it was actually a bear pennant. This bear pennant could have pushed it really far to the downside, depending on how you draw this. Even a conservative prediction would have put it going down to $2.50. And I believe the last time we talked about it, we said, hey, look, That's in the cards, and you got to be careful of that. If Bitcoin goes into a big downtrend, Kadena could go down to below $5. At the moment, that's not what's happening, though. And at the moment, if we look at the daily chart, it is attempting to form an uptrend. Now, just like on Bitcoin, these altcoins move very similar to Bitcoin, especially in major times of market reversal. We're seeing a bullish MACD cross right here. We're seeing that RSI is pushed above 50. Those are all great things. Out on the 3-daily chart, though, we have not seen MACD cross bullish. We have barely seen RSI cross above the 14 interval moving average. So I want to see these markets rally and sustain a rally for a little bit longer. It's the same thing I'm saying on Bitcoin, guys. This is why I'm running through these altcoins pretty quickly. They all have, different technical indicators, but they're all basically saying the same thing. Hey, get confirmation. That's what we're seeing. So Kadena looks like it's in a good spot. This rally is going to be driven by whether or not Bitcoin is able to sustain its uptrend, and whether or not its fundamentals are in play, and also whether or not it's able to get above those important levels that I just broke down and stay above them for a while. Another thing I'll add on to that before we move on is that a $10 Kadena is a very important thing for you to look out for. If Kadena is able to get above $10, it's going to be breaking previous support right here, breaking previous resistance right here, and then it would probably be in a strong uptrend. So be looking out for a $10 Kadena. Above that is what I would call a major bullish zone. Right now, everything above $6 and below $10 is pretty much the market trying to decide whether it wants to go into a big uptrend or a big downtrend. So that's what I would say on KDA. Now, I just did TA on 3 different altcoins. Tim, I want to throw it to you. Do you have any take on any of those altcoins before I move on?
No, I'm kind of sitting in a boat where I still check on those and I want to see what's happening, but you're going to find a lot of similarities in what's happening on Bitcoin. So I'm waiting for not just a small breakout. I'm waiting for a confirmation breakout on Bitcoin before I start saying that these coins are going to split off and start doing their own thing. Yeah,
absolutely. I completely agree with you. We are locked in right now, and everything's really moving together, especially around times of major market reversals, guys. Whenever you see the market have a major shift, you typically see the entire market line up together. Just take a look here at the top 10. Look at all of these charts right here about 4 to 5 days ago. This is when a big market reversal happened. Pretty much every single chart in the span of about 5 days ago to about 3 days ago, right in here, they all almost look identical. Why is that? It's because all the markets move together whenever they are having a major market-wide reversal. So that's why I'm saying, yeah, the altcoin analysis is important right now, and there are certain things that are going to apply only to the altcoins, but at the same time, there is quite a bit that's applying to the altcoins that is basically just the exact same thing as what we're seeing on Bitcoin. Now, as far as Avalanche is concerned, if you don't know what AVAX is, it's a layer 1 protocol that is designed to be able to process a ton of transactions, build decentralized applications, smart contracts, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. It's worth $20 billion right now. I personally think it's worth every single penny, and I do think that it being up 11% today makes a lot of sense. Avalanche is one of the easiest to scale cryptocurrencies as far as transactional throughput of everything in the top 20. I would say Cardano's up there as well. It is doing a very good job fundamentally, and I do like the project, and I am personally invested in it, full disclosure on that. Over the last 14 days, we have seen that AVAX has rallied from $53 all the way up to $85. That means it has rallied 58% in 16 days, and it better rally 58% in 16 days because it crashed 58% in 31 days. So I'm really happy to see it rallying, but I'm also very happy to see it above $80. $80 is a critical level of support and resistance here on AVAX, on Avalanche, and we needed to see this market rally above this. It's a great sign that that has happened. I'm very excited about that fact. Now, at the same time, we have bullish MACD on daily chart, just like we saw on Bitcoin, just like we saw on Ethereum, just like we saw on everything. And the RSI is also in a very strong uptrend. The RSI on daily charts also gotten above 50, but if we look at the 3-daily chart, it has not. It's currently right below 50, and we have not seen a bullish MACD cross. So this is another point I want to make here, guys. The altcoins are lagging behind Bitcoin and Ethereum. These altcoins have not seen a bullish MACD cross on 3-daily chart yet, whereas over on Bitcoin, you can see that it's just occurred. We are seeing that the altcoins are about 5 to 7 days behind Bitcoin. And that basically means that if Bitcoin has just had a big rally, then there's good reason to expect that the altcoins might be about to have a big rally. I've talked about something called the altcoin engine on the channel before. Haven't talked about it recently because it's not really been in play, but there's this idea during a bull market, which I do think we're in a bull market, but we're continuing into a bigger rally again, where Bitcoin will rally, and then as it's on its downstroke, then we'll see the altcoins rally, and then as the altcoins are on their downstroke, Bitcoin will rally. And it's almost like, a 4-stroke engine, or just an internal combustion engine. One piston rallies while the other's going down, and then they go back and forth and back and forth and back and forth, and that's kind of what we see happen. Bitcoin goes up, altcoins go down. Altcoins go up, Bitcoin goes down. Altcoins go up, Bitcoin goes down, etc. And I think that's what we're going to see happen here. Bitcoin just took the first stroke. It has had the first, you know, it's rallied for the first time. It's gone up. And now as it's kind of calming down a little bit, we're going to see the altcoins take a rally. And I think that's what we're seeing happen right now with projects like AVAX being up, you know, 58% in the span of just the last few days. As far as Avalanche itself, though, outside of just the broader cryptocurrency markets, I think that what we need to see on Avalanche is we need to see quite a bit more volume. We don't see a ton of volume down here. We don't see a ton of volume on Bitcoin for that matter, but we don't see a lot of volume on Avalanche. I want to see more volume come into play, and the next major level that I want to see it get to is $100. I want to see it break above $100. If it breaks above $100 and goes through the same confirmations that I talked about earlier, like Lux Algo being bullish, which by the way, it does not have a confirmed buy signal on Lux Algo yet. Trendcatcher has not turned green. If it gets above 100, it has a confirmed buy signal on Lux Algo. It does what I talked about on the 3-daily chart with the bullish MACD cross and RSI going up above 50, and it has a bullish bullish Lux Algo flash on 3-daily chart. I'll be bullish on it. I do think that Avalanche has the potential to go to well over $200, but I do think that we're going to need to see some more confirmation. I personally think it would be unwise to jump into a long on Avalanche just yet. I would wait for a little bit more confirmation. Now, we're going to go ahead and take a look at Cardano, then we're going to look at Shib, and then we're going to jump back into reading some super chats. So, Cardano, the coin of the hour. You guys know I'm a big fan of ADA. I'm a big fan of Charles Hoskinson. It is a project that I've been watching very closely for the last year, and I've really dived a lot into in the last month or so. I am a big investor in Cardano because I firmly believe in the founder, I firmly believe in the vision, and I firmly believe in the technology. Those are the three reasons I'm invested in Cardano. I think Charles Hoskinson is a thought leader. I think he's going to get the front page of Time magazine one day. I think what he is doing is going to be one of the major thought leaders driving the cryptocurrency space forward over the next 10 years. He's a very opinionated guy, and I love his opinions, but the fact that he's very opinionated makes him very attractive to television, makes him very attractive to YouTube. He's going to get his word and his name and his opinion and his ideas out there, and he also cares very deeply about people. He cares much more about people than he does about price. He's made that very clear, not only through his words, but also through his actions. Now, there's also the vision of Cardano. The vision of Cardano, they want to provide decentralized identification tools and blockchain-enabled tools to a couple billion people and help pull them out of poverty by helping them to have identification, by helping them to work in a modern 21st century economy. That is a very noble vision, and if you provide value to a couple billion people, guess what? That's going to provide value to your token price, and that's why I believe Cardano will be worth over $20 by the end of the decade. And then also the technology. It's a very well-substantiated wealth of technology. Everything that happens on Cardano is backed up by a scientific paper which is peer-reviewed. When that occurs, they can be very confident in the technology. There's always going to be bugs, but whenever an update rolls out to Cardano, it has been looked at by hundreds of different blockchain and data scientists to make sure that there's not going to be a bunch of game-breaking bugs or cryptocurrency-breaking bugs that go into the project. Therefore, the project takes longer to develop, but it's also built right. And because of that, I think it's going to stand the test of time. So those are the three major reasons I like Cardano. But as far as its price is concerned, it's currently sitting above $1. It has not broken below $1 ever since it rallied above $1, other than a couple of little scam wicks here and there. At the moment, it is in a rally, and it is rallying back up to $1.20. It has rallied 20% in the last 4 days. That's great. As far as the technicals on Cardano are concerned, there is bullish MACD and RSI divergence on the daily chart. Those things are phenomenal, and I think this, in pairing with the fact that the Plutus backend has come online and we're starting to see smart contracts, we actually saw a 20% jump in the number of Cardano smart contracts in a day about a week and a half ago. It jumped from, I want to say, like 90 to 110, something like that. It was a massive jump. We're also seeing launches of things like AVAX. We're seeing launches of things like Sunday Swap. A lot of the layer 2, a big part of the layer 2 ecosystem on top of Cardano is being built out. You got the Cardano Alliance coming into play and helping with all of that. A lot of major groundbreaking updates happening on Cardano. They got big launches coming out. They just increased the block size from 72 kilobytes to 80 kilobytes. They increased the size of the backend with smart contracts from, I think, 12.5 to 14 million. A lot of big updates coming to Cardano. Remember, guys, price is downstream of fundamentals. You don't have to worry about the price if you build a good product, and that's what Cardano is doing. So as far as the technicals are concerned, the technicals are a little boring right now, to be honest with you, but the fundamentals are amazing, and for that reason, I'm very excited about Cardano for the next 10 years. Final one we're going to talk about here, Shib. Shiba Inu. Sheeb. We're always hating on Sheeb. Jebb, why do you hate Sheeb so much? Jebb, why do you hate on Dogecoin so much? Jebb, SafeMoon, shouldn't I buy this? Why do you hate on SafeMoon so much? Okay, let me be clear. I'm not trying to hate on these projects. What I am trying to do is make sure that you're safe. Because my genuine 100% conviction is that I was given this platform by God, and I want to help to preach the gospel and share that with you guys, and I also want to help you guys achieve financial sovereignty, because I believe that the way the you will find fulfillment and joy in your life is walking in the purpose that has been outlined before you. I want to help you run the race that has been outlined before you. The way that I can help you to do that is by achieving financial sovereignty. I want to help you gain control over your finances, take back control of your finances from the government that doesn't have your best interest at heart, take back control of your finances from the banks that don't have your best interest at heart, and take back your future from the grips of poverty because you don't understand how to work with your money. I want to help you to achieve financial sovereignty. That is control over your finances rather than your finances controlling you. That is my vision. That is what I want to do. That is how I want to help and serve you. That is why I come into work every single day and do what I do. Every single time I make a piece of content, I ask myself, does this content help someone achieve financial sovereignty? I don't believe investing in Dogecoin or Shiba Inu is a good way of achieving financial sovereignty. That is why I'm against them. That being said, something very interesting is happening on the price action of SHIB, and I should show you this because it is a $15 billion cryptocurrency. This is what I want to show you. On SHIB, on the log chart, there is a downtrend that has been in play ever since October 28th of 2021. This downtrend, as of 2 days ago, has been broken. The reason that I'm showing you this is because for once, I am going to tell you that there might actually be a logical argument to buy a little bit of SHIB. Not a ton, but maybe just a little bit. Maybe a little moon bag. Here's why. Shiba Inu, for all of its faults and despite the fact that it doesn't have a lot of functionality, and yes, I get it, we're working on functionality on the back end. Try to beat out a Cardano or an Ethereum that's been working on layer 1 protocols and smart contract platforms for 8 years. You're not going to be able to compete, SHIB. It's just not going to happen. But it does have a very strong community that can cause major pumps. And when it does break a downtrend like this, and when it has rallied 56% in 4 days, the mainstream media could pick up on this relatively soon and pump this price very hard. So I'm not telling you to go and buy a ton of SHIB. I'm not even saying put 1% of your portfolio in SHIB. But to be honest with you, a tiny little moon bag in SHIB right now might not be a terrible idea that you might hold for a week or two and then be very conservative with. Say, okay, I doubled my money. Okay, it went up 40%. Okay, I'm going to pull out. I'm not going to get overly enthusiastic. But to be honest with you guys, I don't like SHIB, but I will tell you when there's an opportunity, there might be a small opportunity for a pump over the next couple of days. It is up 40% today, and we have seen how the pumpamentals on these coins work. Whenever it goes into a big uptrend like this, there is reason to believe that the community could come in and rally this thing quite a bit. So Tim, what is your take on SHIB? Do you think it's about to have a massive FOMO-driven pump, and is there an opportunity here that we could take advantage of logically?
Well, so I got to start by admitting I'm not that invested into the SHIB community in terms of knowing what they're talking about and what they're doing. I'm not invested in it, so I don't check in all the time. However, SHIB is one of those projects that has a very strong community. We've talked about that, I think, last week. The power of having a strong community on a coin is one of the reasons why it's actually probably a decent coin to actually be used. SHIB is different than Dogecoin. I think I'm a big Dogecoin hater. SHIB has a couple things that are different, but what I will say, I agree that this is not one of my long-term hodl coins. However, one of the reasons why we saw a price uptick recently is within the last 24 hours, we had 56.3 million coins burned. All right. And what's a little bit even more enticing is that next weekend, there's a lot of speculation. They don't know the exact number, but there's a lot of speculation that the largest burn party is going to happen on SHIB. And just to kind of put that in your... I'm looking for the exact number. The largest one up to this point, December 26th, was 239 million tokens. They're saying that this next weekend, is going to be the biggest, even bigger than that. So it's interesting. I don't think I'm going to trade SHIB. I still think I'm going to stay away from it, especially doing things that I don't get invested in the community that much. I don't know that much about it. However, I will say for anyone who is currently invested in SHIB or anyone who is doing their research, they're probably saying, Tim, you're absolutely right. This is a time that people will probably make some profit off of it. And the reason why is because that news is huge. It's not just about looking at these charts, because if I were to do nothing but look at the SHIB chart right now, there's actually a case that we're at a top right now. We're going to correct back down. There's bearish divergence. There's, we're at the top of Bollinger Bands, all this stuff. But knowing that this next coming weekend, there's going to be another, not just burn, but the biggest burn of all times, I'm like, okay, that is a piece of news. That is something fundamental that I will have to look at that rather than looking at the charts. And I do believe that's going to be bullish for SHIB. I don't think some people are saying like, this is going to be the rally that gets us up to 1 cent. I don't think that's happening.
SHIB's not going to 1
cent.
cent. I will make that prediction very clear.
could you potentially make some money in a trade on SHIB? I do believe potentially you will. Now, I'm not. I want to make very clear. I don't know how much. I don't think that the charts will be able to show you that whatsoever. Jebb and I don't know that much about SHIB to be able to tell you how much you'll be able to make. But if you are invested in SHIB, if you are someone who pays attention to what's happening, keep that in your mind because that is very, very, very bullish news for Shiba Inu.
For SHIB to go to for SHIB to go to $1, it would need to be worth $549 trillion, which is the entire human race's existence is worth about a quadrillion dollars. So SHIB would have to make up half of the value of literally everything in existence. So it's not going to $1. I can say that with 100% certainty if it maintains its current supply.
Yeah, and someone's pointing out the math on that. That's not that much. It's only $6,700. The point is that it's the news that surrounds it, and it's the community. It's the community working together. I think there's gonna be a lot of hype around Shiba Inu with that burn. Yeah. Not that burn itself is gonna do a lot. It's just bringing community into the group.
Now that being said, I want everybody to know, because I've seen some people in chat, we're not saying on any project we do TA on, we're never giving you an indication or telling you to buy or not to buy something. We're giving you how we're going about looking at charts, what we're thinking, and how you can take from that and make these sort of decisions yourself as well. How and why you think through these projects and the fundamentals, the technical analysis, on-chain metrics, whatever can give you your edge and give you the most robust knowledge you can to make these decisions. And with SHIB, we very clearly will state that none of us here at the channel think of it as a long-term investment. No. When we're doing TA on it like we are right now, we're saying based on the fact that it has major market share in terms of it being in the top 20 and it's been holding there for a while, there's a lot of people on the channel that are either currently actively trading it or interested in it. Maybe some people are new, and that's fine. You know, everybody finds their way to the larger cap or more secure or better long-term investments through whatever coins they come into, whether it's through NFTs or through meme coins, and that's okay. But what we are saying is, if you are going to do a trade, this is the TA that we're looking at right now and what you might be able to expect in the short-term future. But we do not recommend anybody just put in their life savings or really any amount of money and then hope to look at it in 5 years, because there's no telling this could go to nothing. Much more likely than a larger cap coin that has use case built into it. And with SHIB, it might be a good trade. And I would say only on a short-term basis. And just like any of the trade options that we tell you about, or the possibilities or opportunities, know what your exit strategy is going in.
And I actually don't have, and after this, we're going to go into super chats. I actually don't have a problem with a moonbag in SHIB that's like 0.1% of your portfolio. So let's say you have a $100,000 portfolio. I don't think there's anything wrong with having $100 in SHIB, because you never know. You never know. Look, the thing could go to $100 billion market cap and then crash. But if you do that, just make sure you keep a very, very small percentage of your portfolio in it and be very liberal with taking your profits. That's what I would say to that. But let's go ahead and read some super chats.
Yeah, we got some good ones here. Ahmed Ali said, "What's the best way to convert Luna to so W Luna,
wrapped Luna,
into actual Luna, since it's not sported on the Coinbase? Love you guys. May God bless you all."
I'm not sure, because wrapped Luna token is ranked 3,000, so I don't have any experience with that. Kelly, would you know how to answer that?
Typically, when you have a wrapped coin that's basically being utilized on another chain, you'd have to go through whatever DEX is on that chain to swap it out. But I mean, that you're not typically, most wrapped coins have very limited listing exposure on major, whether it be Binance or Coinbase or whatever. There are some on there that are on major chains, but in this case, just go and look up a DEX, one of the higher. One of the more prominent DEXs on Luna or whatever chain that wrapped Luna is on, like whether you're using it on whatever other chain you're using it on, you should be able to swap it back to whatever token you want to use.
All right, let's go on to another one here. We have one, just a donation from Micah, man. So Micah, if you had anything to say, I do not have it here, but thank you for the donation. Richard Magika, maybe that G is a Anyway, Super Bowl is coming up. Thoughts on if it will pump crypto with millions of ads going live and the big players pushing it?
Yeah, is Crypto.com running a Super Bowl ad?
Crypto.com is running one.
FTX, is FTX running
there's
one?
There's a couple.
FTX might be running a Super Bowl ad. I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah, no, I think it's going to be big. And I think the reason it's going to be big is because Crypto.com has actually, as much as I'm not a big fan of the cryptocurrency Crypto.com, because it's very centralized, and if something happened to the company, the cryptocurrency would pretty much die. Crypto.com does play a very important role in the marketing of crypto, because what that company does, they got my brother in. Crypto.com was the one that got my brother to join crypto. I did tell my brother for 4 years about crypto, and he got in through Crypto.com so he could go and take advantage of those really cool debit cards they have. Yeah. A lot of people are joining crypto through Crypto.com. So yeah, I think it's a big deal personally.
I think that if people think that the night of the Super Bowl or the day after crypto is just going to explode, I don't think that's going to
happen.
I think it's more like it'll happen. People will be like, okay, what is this? People will start looking into it more. It actually could even be a sell the news type situation. I remember when we had the whole thing with Elon on SNL with Doge, people wondered, is that going to be a pump? Is that It ended up being a selling point. It ended up really went down a little bit and then it went back up. So it ended up not being that big of a difference. But I think it's going to bring a lot of eyes to crypto to start looking more into it. I think you're going to have a combination of a lot of buys and a lot of sells. The price is probably going to do mostly nothing.
Yeah, I agree. The price is probably going to do nothing, but I think it will be big for brand awareness.
Yes,
and
I think
adoption.
long-term wise, it is even more. Just like the same with the stadium. The LA stadium, it's not like that news announced and all of a sudden the crypto market just exploded, but it's the fact that, hey, from now on, every single time the Lakers or the Clippers, which I think the Clippers are building their own stadium at some point, but every time the Lakers play or every time there's a concert there or anything else, it's just another reminder, and it's longevity-wise going to bring more people into the space.
Yep, absolutely. Totally agree with that.
Let's see here. Crit Cats said, what's going on with AVAX? Was it a bad launch? I'm seeing a lot of FUD around it saying it's a scam. What are your thoughts?
It's a very small project. So yeah, when it launched, it didn't have a giant pump. The thing about AVAX you got to realize is that it's a very small, very little known project. We're probably one of the only YouTubers in crypto that's talking about it. This project is very young, and it's built on a very young project, which is called Cardano, as far as the smart contract and backend to be able to build DEXs. So yeah, AVAX did not have a giant pump when it launched, but quite frankly, I'm kind of okay with that, because if it had a giant pump, that would have meant that the price was being driven by FOMO, and I don't want to see the price driven by FOMO. I want to see the price driven by fundamentals. So yeah, it's going to take time, guys. You know, Coinbase has been around for, what, 7 years? Bitfinex has been around for like 5, 6, 7 years. It takes time for exchanges to really get going. You look at a project like a SundaeSwap or anything. It took time. Cardano is a very young platform as far as its layer 2 ecosystem. I mean, they just launched smart contracts within the last 6 months. It was not that long ago. So you're going to have to give it time. There's not a lot of adoption there, but it's going to come. It's going to take time, but it will come.
All right.
I want to mention also, one of the things people need to realize about AVAX, the coin's been around for, going on 6 months now, but they've been slowly rolling out a number of different things within their ecosystem. And so it's not just the DEX, it's the thing. They have an operational and I quite like, they have a centralized exchange that they created themselves. It's at cex.avax.pro.
Yep.
And then in addition to that, they have a launch pad. They just had, I think somebody asked in chat earlier, I might have been a super chat about the RAD token, which is for Cardania, which is a metaverse project that's basically they just going through starting their pre-sale or priority launch today on the AVAX launchpad, and they sold out. They sold out in under like 20 minutes, and then they increased the amount that they're allowing to be available in that pre-sale. But what my point here is that they have an incredible amount of, it's a robust ecosystem that they're building, and there's a lot more than just the DEX. And in addition to that, they had some small issues with the DEX launch in terms of some of the functionality, but their team has been on it. In fact, they're rolling out a version 1.1 upgrade to their DEX with a lot of the different suggestions that they had from the users to really make it, to contend with, to become the #1 DEX on Cardano. And right now you got SundaeSwap, who right now is not enamored, basically getting buried in a massive lawsuit between CardSwap, I think, or CardStarter. They just launched a huge legal action against SundaeSwap, supposedly.
Yeah.
We'll see how that plays out. But
going on there.
like you said, there's a lot of things things take time. Sometimes people think something launches and then they're going to get a massive, 6,000% increase. I mean, look at Phantom, look at Luna, look at any of these projects.
They were a great example.
ADA was sideways like
for 4 years, 4 or 5 years.
And then it went up 17x, in the matter. And then people wonder why ADA's not moving. It's like, what are you talking about? These things go sideways and then pump.
Everybody thinks that you're going to see everybody thinks that overnight success is a real thing. No, it's not. There's 10 years of work behind every overnight success story. For example, I don't want to say that we're this giantly successful channel, but our channel grew we quadrupled our subscribership last year, but we had under 50,000 subscribers for almost 4 years. So there's a parabolic and an inflection point, and that might be years away for AVAX, but I do think it's going to do well.
We are running very short on time, but I want to read the super chats. We're not going to respond to them, and I think there's one that could do a response from Kelly, but Kelly, I'm going to have you potentially respond via Twitter. JP Allen just wanted to donate. Thank you so much, JP Allen. Desert Crypto ETH just bought my first crowd sale token. Rad on AVAX Launchpad. Would like Kelly's thoughts. It's Cardano's governance token. So again, that's the one, Kelly, I think you could respond to. So it's Rad on AVAX. Jeffrey Lim said, what do you think of the Helium token? Again, sorry guys, we can't answer all these. Saul said, Jebb, I was thinking to diversify into PAX G. Any thoughts?
Not familiar with
we'll have
it.
to look into that
Sorry.
one. Crypto Alchemist said, have you guys heard any info regarding the release of AVAX? Are there any major concerns that could prevent it from reaching its price potential?
Talked about that.
We just talked about that. Siobhan Goli gave again, saying, is it a good time to buy Luna and ADA for the short or long term? Thanks for a lot.
I think so, yes.
But missed the super chat. I really appreciate the effort you put in every day, Jebb and team. Luke Wild said, thoughts on Hex and Pulse Chain. So again, a couple of different altcoin questions there. Sorry we could not answer them all. Some of them we probably would have just said we haven't looked into those anyway.
Yeah.
So,
well, guys, thank you so much for tuning in and watching the stream. Guys, let's smash that like button, see if we can get to 1,700 likes here in the next little bit. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. 3,400 people watching. We're so very flattered by that. We're so very thankful that you're here. What we want to do at this channel is we want to serve you cryptocurrency technical analysis, on-chain analysis, fundamental analysis with humility, integrity every single day. I do believe that we are fast becoming the #1 place to go and find technical analysis on the cryptocurrency markets, and it's our vision to help you achieve financial sovereignty. What that means to us is we want to help you achieve full control and ownership over your money and over your financial institutions and systems, instead of the banks having control over you, instead of the government having control over your finances, instead of poverty having control over you. We want you to have control over your financial systems. We want you to have control over your banking, you to have control over your identification and your data and your cookies, and we want you to have control over your finances so that you're not constantly worrying, oh, can I put gas in the car? Can I pay rent? Can I take care of my dad who's in the hospital? Can I take care of my family? Can I take care of my wife? Can I take care of my kids? If for some reason you want to send your kids to college, can you pay for that? We want to help you to have the finances in place that you can do that. That's what FinSov means to us. So drop a hashtag FinSov in chat. Make sure to go and follow us on our social media at CryptoJebb over on Twitter and Instagram, and at CryptoJebb Official over on TikTok. Not going to have time to read it. I do apologize, but Abdullah Safar, I do want to thank you very much for that super chat. Guys, before I go, I do just first want to thank each and every single last one of you for watching, as always, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.
Oh, I got a real good feeling.